Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Carmen Bryan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and to my podcast on Podbean, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Sundays for a live chat, where I get to answer questions impromptu and just get to be myself and make you smile. I love to hear about you guys laughing or smiling or seeing the emojis. But thank you guys for joining me. Today's topic I wanted to talk about, many people ask me, like, how do you know if you've met a narcissist, or like you're going back out on the dating scene and you're wondering, like, how can you tell if this is a narcissist? Well, number one, a therapist has a hard time determining whether a person is a narcissist or not unless they're spending enough time with them to see, whether they have signs or symptoms of a cluster B personality disorder. So, even in a therapeutic setting, it just doesn't pop out, because remember, a narcissist, is that fake charm, that what's the word I'm looking for? That fake charm, that charisma. There we go. Charismatic. They're charismatic. I'm trying to say charismatic and charisma at the same time, but they're very charismatic. They portray themselves as something that they're really not, and they go overboard with it. And so let's just talk about some things to look for. Some of you guys are just in a hurry to get out there and date. I tell you guys, I can't tell you what to do because you're grown. That's your business, and you're grown, and you're going to do whatever you want to do. I just want you to make sure you set some money aside so you can make an appointment with me for coaching. If you don't listen, if you're hard-headed. Now this is auntie talking, auntie, big sister, cousin, big mama, counselor, coach. I'm just telling you, hard head make a soft butt. Isn't that what your parents used to say? Hard head make a soft booty, girl. Well, they didn't say it like that, but but you got to listen, because some of you guys are not ready to go back and date. But some of you guys that are hard-headed and want to just jump out there and start dating before you have an opportunity to get those narcissistic fleas out of your soul, get those that pain, that hurt out of your soul. You haven't had the appropriate time to recover from what is like a car accident. Some of you guys have been in it for so long. Imagine how long you were in this abuse and how long it takes for you to heal from that. Some of you guys I just want to get it over with. Okay, well, it's just not that easy. That's just like saying I want my hair to grow, and I want my hair to grow today. Well, you just shaved it off, so it's not going to grow just today unless you go make a wig or get a wig. Then you can be every woman you want to be, or men too. Some of you guys wear lace fronts, so hey, power to the brothers. But listen, here's some things to pay attention to. And you're going to hear my voice too. What did auntie say? You're going to hear me see, you're hard-headed. But listen, so let's take in consideration you meet a person and they're just mesmerizing. You're just mesmerized by this person. It's just you can't put your finger on it, but just about that person, you just mesmerized. It's like you just get drawn in, like, oh my gosh, just sucked in. There's something about this woman. There's something about this man. It's just, oh my gosh. Okay, you need to put your shields up, put your guards up. Okay, if someone can mesmerize you like that, like, okay, if you can catch my attention like that, if you can mesmerize me like that, okay, let me put my guards up, because, let me put up my protection. Let me guard my heart, because that's too quick. You got a hold of my emotions too quick, and now I'm mesmerized with you. And then you notice that you talk to them one time, you may have a conversation with them on the phone, you have a conversation, but all of a sudden you notice you're thinking about them constantly thinking about them. And then for some of you guys, you're already creating scenarios in your head. Some of you guys already purchased the wedding dress, and all they said was, hey, can I call you? You talk to them one evening, you already looking for your ring, already going to get fitted for your dress. See, right there, that's a red flag. But you notice that you talk to them that one time, it's just something about them, you're just mesmerized by them. It's just your curiosity killed the cat. But you're curious, and there's something about this. I don't know what it is. It's like this, I'm drawn to this person. It's just like when I talk to them, it's just something about their voice, or I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Put your guards up. That's a red flag. Another thing is you talk to them on the phone, you talk to them, have a conversation, and then it's almost like you're craving to have another conversation with them. You just can't wait. And they're doing it on purpose, y'all. But they're on your mind. They are on your mind. Now, some of you say that, when I met that narcissist, female or male, I was not interested in them. They were not attractive to me. I don't know what it was. It was something in the conversation. I don't know what it was, but they pursued me. Pay attention to those pursuits that get almost aggressive. You're not interested in the person, so you're not interested. Don't let anybody persuades you any different. If you're not interested, you're not interested. And you can name all the reasons why you're not interested, or I'm in the process of healing. I don't want to be in a relationship at this particular time. That's red flag. If you're not interested, you're not interested. Stand your ground. And then if you notice all of a sudden they become aggressive in their pursuit, So all of a sudden they show up at your job. All of a sudden, now you have to remember, it used to be before the big narcissist thing, before it really became a talked about topic, and we're starting to notice so many people with these behaviors and attributes. At one point in time, it was almost chivalry. There we go. For a man to purchase a woman flowers, or for a woman to leave a flower for a man, or him just to send a card just to let you know. It was innocent. It was innocent, and this is the way that people used to pursue each other. But that narcissist, those people that have narcissism, they take it and they go way beyond that. They take it and make something horrible out of it. They'll do that if that's what you like, in order to pull you. So pay attention to, they met you and all of a sudden they're so infatuated with you that it's almost like they're looking at you and absorbing you. And all of a sudden you're starting to get flowers and notes, and they're coming by your job and they're inquiring about you, and they're meeting you at the house, or they know what grocery store you shop at, or what time you leave work, and what time you. Be careful when you guys go home. Be careful when you guys go home. Don't let everybody know where your place of residence is. That is a private, safe place for you. So be careful. Make sure no one's following you, but just be careful. Another thing to look out for is you're in a conversation with them and you notice you're doing all the talking. You're telling all your business because you feel free, you feel comfortable. It's like they put your guards down and they made you feel comfortable enough to give all your secrets. You can't give all your secrets. You give all your secrets, your defenses are down. Your defenses are down, and now you're spilling your heart. And so you notice, and in your mind, you're asking yourself, or you're telling yourself, I think I'm talking too much. If you hear yourself say that, you're talking too much. I think I'm talking too much, or dang, I've never talked like this. I've never felt comfortable enough to talk to people. I'm telling you things that I've never told anybody. Red flag. You should not be doing all the talking. And then if you ask them, like, am I talking too much? And they're like, no. Be yourself. You talk, feel comfortable. I love to listen. I'm a good listener. And then you're thinking to yourself, you are an excellent listener. That's exactly what they are. Excellent listeners to pick and listen to where your holes are in your heart. So if you start wondering, like, am I talking too much? You're talking too much. Be quiet. Shut your mouth. Shh. Be quiet. Another thing is that you notice that you're telling a lot about yourself and they haven't told you a lot about them. And even if you do ask questions, they either brush it off or they tell you kind of surface stuff. They don't tell you anything deep, and then you notice they have a lot of emotions, or they're staring at you, that narcissistic stare, that seductive stare. Or sometimes it's not even a seductive stare. It's a stare like they're fascinated with you and they're just staring at you. They're watching your mouth move. They're watching your head. They're watching your hands. They're watching everything. And you feel so good that someone is paying attention to you. Well, when you're off and you're hurt, anything that could be wrong will look good to you as well. And so they're not looking at you because they're absorbing you. They're trying to figure out what makes you tick. They're watching how you talk. To mirror somebody, therapists learn in counseling to mirror the client. And the purpose of mirroring the client, I'm gonna try to give you the basic information without being super, sound like a super professor or anything. But the purpose for mirroring, we learn to mirror in counseling, because to mirror someone, how they sit, how they talk, how they hold their head, how they cross their legs, when you mirror another person, it kind of puts their defenses down. It shows that you're like them. It makes them comfortable because they're looking at a mirror of themselves. So it makes them comfortable. It makes them put down the defenses. It makes them feel they're leaning this way, you're leaning this way. They're leaning forward, you're leaning forward. Or they're talking about something intense, so you start leaning forward to show that you are very interested in what they're saying. So they open up. It makes them feel safe. It makes them feel like they can open up, where a narcissist does that. So when you're talking, notice all those things. Look how they're looking at you. Look how they start, they could be like you're talking and they're moving their mouth, or they're just staring at you. They're staring at your mouth, or and you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, this person is so absorbed with me. I can't believe how much attention he pays or she pays to me. And they're watching me and they're watching my every move. Yes, they are. That's not a good thing in all cases. Absolutely not. They're watching everything you're doing, and because they're going to start mirroring you. Another thing, I was going to say number 2, but I'm probably beyond number 2. Another thing, you notice that things move very fast. Somehow or another, they have convinced you to let them move into your house, or for you guys to move they're already making plans. They're making plans for you to move in together. They're future faking. But a lot of them are already making plans. They're making plans to secure you. They're trying to lock you in. So all of a sudden, you've probably known them a few days, or maybe a few weeks, or maybe a month, 30 days. They're already making plans of you two moving in together, putting your bank accounts together, meeting their mom, meeting their family, traveling, purchasing a house. They start creating a future, and they, and what we can do is build a business, and we can do all that they're saying is stuff that you want to hear. So be aware when things begin to move very fast and they're making plans very fast. You're like, hold on, I haven't even known you a year. I don't know how you handle money. I don't know what you're like when you're angry. I want to see what you're like, Incredible Hulk, when you're angry. When you get mad, am I still going to like you? How do you handle your anger? How do you treat your mother? Or how do you treat your father? How do you treat your sisters and your brothers? How do you treat other people? If they were married before, how many times have you been married? And let me hear why you got a divorce that many times. What was the cause of the divorce? See if they take any accountability, because some narcissists, what you'll notice them, it's always about the other people. They won't take accountability for anything they've done. They always bring out what the other, and you notice, you listen to them long enough, it's always the other person's fault. It's always something that the other people did. I'm this type of person. I'm just a gracious person. I'm a giver, and each one of them is taking advantage of me. Now, what they'll do is, just to kind of throw you off, they'll take like little responsibility, like, I can't lie. I was immature at one time, and so I really didn't understand, the purpose of monogamy, or I was just young and I was wild and I was out there and I cheated and I messed up my relationships, all 7 of the marriages. I was just young and I kept doing the same thing over and over again, and I didn't learn my lesson until I lost everything. And now I finally matured and I've become an adult, and now I want to settle down, and I think you're the one I want to do it with, because I've learned, I've matured. 7 marriages. And it took you 7 marriages to realize what you've done. You should have known that with the first one, or at least the second one. So look at how many times they've been married. How do they handle the ex-wives? How do they handle the ex-husbands? When they talk about them, is it always something negative? Even if it was a bad relationship, how do they speak of that bad relationship? Because how they talk about those exes is how they're going to talk about you. Whenever they say something, they dog them out. They may say something nice, about them, but you'll notice the more you talk to them, the longer you talk to them, there's always something negative, or they won't talk about them at all. You don't know anything about the last relationships. How do they handle the children? What is it like? Do they pay child support? Do they not pay child support? What do they say about the child support money? Are they talking about the mother or the father? Because some fathers receive child support because they have custody of the children. What do they talk about with it? Are they always trying to find a reason why not to pay child support? Are they always trying to make an excuse? Or all you hear is a one-sided story? You hear a one-sided story, and and it's understandable when you're dating someone, all you have is that one-sided story. But just think about it. Always remember to yourself, that's one side to the story. How do they respond when you say, well, there's 2 sides to every story? Do they get angry with you to convince you that there's only their side of the story and this is the facts and everybody knows, and they generalize, everybody knows, and my family knows? Notice how they talk to people. Notice how they talk to people when they're talking to them. Do they open it up by saying, hey, tell him or tell her about so-and-so that and pay attention to how they do it. Do they, one, open it up to let them talk, or do they guide them in the conversation? Would you please tell him what so-and-so was like? Because I went through this and I went through this and went through. So they're painting the picture so that that person knows how to go along with the narrative. So pay attention when they add a narrative and then ask people to follow the narrative. When they talk to people and they give them the narrative at what way I want you to go, so they know how to flow in the conversation. Or ask my mother, ask my father, you can ask my sisters, and you can talk to them to see what they say and see if they allow that space. Do you feel, they rush really quick? They may buy you a ring. They didn't talk to you about it. They don't know whether you healed or not, but all of a sudden you may have your children and they start handling your child, immediately start handling your child like it's their children. Whether the father or the mother's involved, but they immediately start love bombing your kids. They become over involved with the children. I love children. I've always loved children, and they buy them gifts, and they spend a lot of time, and they talk to them, and you're looking at it like, wow, this is a perfect catch. What a perfect parent. What a wonderful mother. What a wonderful father. The more you pay attention, though, the more you see cracks, because they're trying to pull you and the child. Because a lot of times you may break up and then they'll bring your child, but your child is, me and your child are close. And, even though we're breaking up, I still would like to be close with your child. It's a package deal, baby. Especially you have kids outside of this relationship. If you have, from a previous relationship, it's a package deal, baby. Once you break up with them, you're breaking up with us. When you break up with me, you're breaking up with all of us. You see what I mean? Parents, be careful with your kids, because some of these narcissists are predators. And a lot of you don't know that they're predators until after the fact. You may find out some stuff about them, about other people. But I guarantee you, if you find out stuff about other people and in the habit of what they did with other people, trust you me, they were probably doing with your child. Because most predators, that's not their first time doing it. If they're comfortable and they know how to do it when no one knows, you know what? That's not the first time that they did it. They're skilled. They've been doing it, especially if they haven't got caught. Then some of you hear things from other people, or you're curious from other people, and you're wondering, give you a prime example. They've been divorced. You wonder why the other person doesn't want to talk to them, doesn't want to have anything to do with them. You notice that there is no friendship, there is no relationship, there's nothing. But they're going to excuse it to cover up for themselves that this is how this person is, and this is why, and I make sure that he don't say anything to me, and I'll make sure that she don't say anything, and they know better. But you notice that they have very short conversations, or the other person really has nothing to do, but all you know is what that person is telling you. Yep, she's pursuing me again. Yep, he's pursuing me again, and they're taking me to court, or they're doing this. Always keep your mind open to both sides of a story. There's two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. Remember that. So those are some things to pay attention to. That's not all the things to pay attention to, but that's a lot. Also notice that they just give you lots of gifts. They're always buying you something and giving you gifts and giving you gifts. First of all, you don't need to be bought. Now, some of you guys think it's cute, and you like when people buy you stuff, and you can't be materialistic. You're not in today's time. You cannot be materialistic. And with a narcissist, you got to be careful. If you've been in a relationship with a narcissist before, you got to be careful, because you can be pulled right back into another a relationship with a narcissist. And yeah, it's nice to get a gift, but all of a sudden they're just giving you gifts, money, gifts. Think about it. First of all, I don't need anything that you have. Now, either you and I are talking and you know my character, you want to get to know. That's what you got to know. You got to get to know their character. You don't want to know the representative, the person that showed up to meet you, because the person that showed up to meet you 9 times out of 10 is always going to be the last supply, because they don't know you yet. And so they're going to show up with all the qualities, the good qualities of that last supply, in order to pull you. Those are all the things that they were attracted to. So they're going to use all those qualities to pull you. For example, they pretend to be ministers, or they pretend to be church leaders, or they pretend to be holy folks, or they pretend to be, homebodies. Everything that the other supply complained about, and the way that the other supply is how they present themselves to you. So you fall in love with that last supply. And then as they mirror you and get to know you, and you're telling your story, you're laying out the plot of the movie, and they're determining what key character they need to play in there. And eventually what they begin to do is mirror you, because remember, they don't know you at first. So then they begin to mirror you, because as you're looking at yourself, you first of all, you fell in love with the old supply. Then you begin to start liking yourself. So all of you guys with those low self-esteem that don't like anything about your low self-esteem, that don't like anything about yourself, well, eventually as they mirrored you, you liked everything about you, because they're giving you back to yourself. So now you love the last supply, and you done fell in love with yourself, because they don't have their own personality. They are pieces and parts of everyone's personality that they have come in contact with. They create their own image. That's why they change so quick. You can't change personalities. Personalities are permanent. And so if you can change personality, and every time you turn around, today that they're a rapper, tomorrow they're a businessman, the next they are a kid, the next time they're a teen, next time they're I don't know, anything. They can be anything. But every time they get with another person, they morph into what that person is or does, or the environment that they're in. I was going to say leprechauns, but these chameleons, well, some of you guys were married to leprechauns, but I'm not going to tell nobody, it's just between us. But, these chameleons, they morph and copy their environment that you bring them in order to, it's almost like dominate that environment, to become something that they're not. These are the most low esteem having individuals. They are fearful. They have a very low self-esteem and a very low self-worth. Even though you see them in their grandiosity and they look so confident and scary and everything, you have to think these are some fearful, fearful people. And once we can determine how this narcissist functions and how you need, because the way you function with them, you're reacting to them. But once you can determine how to conduct yourself, not how to change them, how to conduct yourself, you will cause a lot of narcissistic injuries to a point where you might be able to keep them away from you. You just have to learn yourself and your own value. They are afraid of people that come into the light of who they are, the true authentic self, the strength that you have, because that's what they're always afraid of, that you're going to discover you. And I hope that by listening to my videos and my mentors' videos, Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper on YouTube, I hope this is strengthening you. You have other people like Dr. Ramani, who's a professor and gives you good clinical information as well. You have Dr. Les Carter. He's awesome. You have people like Associate Direct. You have people, there are a lot of people out there. So a lot of people, that I listen to, Lil Shaman. And sometimes you just have to guide it in to a couple of people, or maybe one or two people that you can get yourself, find that one person that's going to motivate you. When you do videos, or if you guys listen to videos, don't just listen to videos that hype you up and confirm what you've gone through, but make sure you're listening to videos that give you a solution at the end, that once you hyped up and everything, like, yeah, I feel validated, afterward you feel like you had a solution, you've got some answers, and I feel empowered. Not that you're in fight mode, that you want to go fight and burn down their house, and a lot of times you have narcissists that incite those emotions. When you get on video, and if you're getting on video or watching videos and it incites your emotions and you get pumped up, and they're always, and they're pumping you up and you getting angry and yeah. Okay, that might not be a good thing. But if you feel validated, and when you cut that camera, when you cut the video off, when you turn off the podcast, do you feel empowered? It may hurt. You've gotten the truth. You got pumped up. You feel validated. But after you get off, it's like, oh my gosh, I feel empowered. I've got some more knowledge. I got some more nuggets. I feel empowered. I don't feel crazy. Make sure you found someone that's able to close the door, because all therapists learn to open you up, but not all therapists learn to close you back up. They teach us how to close you back up, but for some people, they don't know how to close you back up. They try, and it's like putting a Band-Aid on a big, giant, open cut. And so when you listen to people, whether it's coaches or therapists, when they're on video, they can open you up. But when you are open and all your emotions are exposed and your feelings are everywhere, when you get off that camera, do you feel like you've been closed back up so that you won't get infected by the world? Hopefully you guys understood what I was talking about when I say that. But thank you guys so much for supporting me. Thank you guys so much. We're getting closer to Thanksgiving. I will come on and talk to you guys. Washington is shutting down, so me and my daughter will be spending Thanksgiving at home. We're going to pick up some plates from some chefs, some cooks. So I will be sitting at home eating my Thanksgiving dinner and watching movies. I'm going to actually take the day off. I know that's kind of weird, but I'm going to take a day off and sit in front of the fireplace and watch some movies, just enjoy myself and take time off to think. And I want you guys to do the same. And I'll probably check in with you guys and make sure that you guys are okay. You're feeling okay. You're doing okay, and just to let you know that somebody cares, because we do. And on behalf of Apostle Helen Sadler, or Helen Sadler Destiny Helper, we want you to know we care about you, we think about you, we talk about you guys, not in a negative way, but we talk about you because we're always trying to figure out another way to bring you something to help with your healing process and to keep you free, narcissist free. And so sometimes she gets a topic and I'm like, ooh, I like that. And sometimes I get a topic and she says, I'm going to talk about this. And usually we bounce stuff off each other, or I hear her speaking. I'm like, ooh, I can come back and talk about this. And also check out her daughter, my older sister. Her name is Pastor Kathy Gibson. Kathy Gibson is on Periscope. You go on Periscope and she talks a lot about, she does a lot with singles ministry too. But she talks a lot about healing. Just recently, her and Apostle were on, and they talked about healing, forgiveness, rejection, and if you listen to us, it kind of gives you a balance. I believe in the whole person concept. Everybody has their own belief system, but I do believe, the mental, the soul, what makes you human, your will, your thoughts, your feelings, your choices, and then your body. You got to take care of your body. eat healthy. Your mind affects your body, because when your mind is overstressed, you'll start feeling pain in your body. And sometimes your body will alert you that something is going on. All of a sudden your back goes out. All of a sudden your muscles are tense in your neck, stomach problems. It's like your body is an alert system to let you know something is going on. Some of you are overstressed, and your body is letting you know that you're overstressed. Your stomach is bloated. You're bloated, because you're stressed. And then I also believe in the spiritual perspective. The whole person, everybody has their own belief. And, you guys know that my mentor, Helen Sadler, is also my senior pastor, Apostle Helen Sadler. And her daughter is also the assistant pastor of the church. And so they bring you healing from different perspectives. Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper, will bring you narcissist abuse from a biblical, spiritual perspective. And she has the liberty and the freedom to do that because she is the senior pastor. And then I usually bring it to you from a experiential, some of my experiences in counseling, personal experiences, what I've been told. And I try not to sound overly educated, because some people can't just keep up with the language. But to each coach that brings you information, you find the one that resonates with you the best. And there are some awesome coaches out there, and then there are some that are narcissists, and you're getting caught up, you're getting pulled into those videos because you feel. So hopefully this has helped you. Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Carmen Bryant. This is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I have a book, Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. I know some of you guys had difficulties that are overseas ordering the book through Amazon and Barnes & Noble because they're having problems shipping it overseas. I guess they don't. I don't know. But if you go to my publisher, Westbow Press, they have a bookstore. Just look for my book under there. They do deliver overseas. So you guys can get the book on Westbow Press, and you can go to the bookstore and order it from there. That's my publisher. And then you guys can get it overseas. They will send it overseas. Also, I'm on podcasts, which I'm recording simultaneously, and I'm on Podbean. That's the platform that I am on. Podbean. I'm under Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. However, it does, once I post the podcast, it does go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, what else? Whatever other platforms that are on there, you will find it on there. Just look for Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, and you'll see my picture there. You guys recognize my face, you'll see my picture. And then thank you guys once again. Listen, to those of you that are seeking coaching services, thank you so much for contacting me. If you want coaching services, contact me, Dr. Carmen Bryant at Outlook.com. Look underneath the video on YouTube. All the information is there. Contact me. I will provide you with my rates, my fees for services. And then those of you that are in the state of Washington, I can provide you with counseling if that's what you want or that's what you need. Some of you need to go to counseling first. Before you go to coaching, go to counseling. That's why we do have on this broadcast, there is a sponsored link, betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. It's a vetted source. And I've heard a lot of good things from a lot of viewers because they have gone through BetterHelp, and they have really, they've done their few weeks in counseling. They felt better, and then they came and they got coaching. And it is licensed mental health counselors throughout the nation and even in Canada, and I don't know where else in the country, but very good source, vetted source. I'm confident with them. You guys go look. I am not providing counseling through BetterHelp. And then through BetterHelp is just counselors that are licensed in your state, that they do telephonic calls. And when you're vetting those counselors yourself, don't get, some of you guys get snotty, like, do you know what narcissist abuse is? No, use the definition. Do you understand psychological abuse? Do you understand PTSD or complex PTSD? Do you understand the after effects of psychological abuse? Do you understand when someone is stalking you or tormenting you? Do you understand, a person that might be psychologically challenged, something is wrong with them, and then they end up trying to pull your kids away, that parental alienation, turning your kids against you. You're not crazy. Get someone, and when they start talking to you, if it resonates with you, that's the counselor that you want. So once again, thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I hope that you do well in your healing. You guys be well and be great. Go be great.